Hello everyone. I thought I'd back up my previous vlog from Highlands with a video about my best images from the year, really, as we're approaching the end of it now. I did do a vlog yesterday from a little hill called Snowdonia, but it wasn't great. The conditions were nice, but the video lacked a story really, so I've binned that one off. So I'm going to show you my images, probably my 10 favourite of the year. And looking back, I've been to quite a few locations and got some nice ones. So it's been a good year for photography, and I'm hoping 2022 will be just as good. So without further ado, my first image was a shot in a snowy scene up in Snowdonia on the Nansla Ridge, which is a lovely ridgeline made up of 5 or 6 different mountains peaks. One of which being Mynaf Dryssycoed, which we went up to. It's got a lovely stone wall that runs from Igan all the way to Mynaf Dryssycoed, and there was snow, 2 foot of snow. It was really heavy at times, but I got a really nice shot of the snow wall, which was defined more in the snow than it would be in other regular circumstances. And it created a nice leading line up to the main peak. So I went up with my friends Luke and Mike. We all got nice images that day, but this one sticks out purely for its simplicity. It just works in that aspect and shows the mountain in its true form, really. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. So yeah, it's quite a nice image of Mynaf Dryssycoed. Second one is, well, Tryfan features quite a lot in this video, and you don't really blame me because it's a stunning mountain and so photogenic. But the second one was shot on top of Pen Elwen. So me and another friend, we went up Avontleur and took the classic. I got quite a nice image, which I'll show you now, of the wall and the style leading you in. It's been shot quite a lot, but in those conditions it's rude not to, really. But I went up Funantleur side of the mountain and went up a gully. It's quite a dangerous scramble up, especially in the snow and the ice. But I got to the top and the light was already kicking off. We had snow, hailstorms, we had snow, we had light. So for photography, it's perfect. But the one image that sticks out was Tryfan's top was just catching the last light from the setting sun over the Namfrancon Valley, and the whole mountain, well, apart from the tip, the mountain was in shadow, and it had dark brooding clouds as well. So it was really a nice document of the mountain, with the top just being lit, and it told quite a nice story of the day of how moody and dramatic the weather was, and that image complemented it nicely. I've took so many of Tryfan, and that one is probably one of my favourite. So yeah, pretty happy with that one. So the third one is also a Tryfan. Yeah, you guessed it. This was shot in totally different weather though. This was a night shot. We scrambled up a gribbin in the dark. This must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was March, April time. So the Milky Way is rising at silly o'clock, and you have to do an all-nighter basically if you want to capture the images in the mountains. But we went up a gribbin ridge, and from there it gives you an amazing view of Llynboch Lywef and Tryfan and the Milky Way at that time of year. So we took the star tracker up. I had this shot planned out really. We took the star tracker up so we can get some nice detailed images of the sky. But Tryfan really looked stunning with the Milky Way rising behind it. That time of year the Milky Way's quite parallel to the horizon. It's not quite in its vertical position, and you can get some interesting compositions with it. So this is the image here. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. A lot of work's gone into it with stacking and and blending and stuff like that, which you need to do if you're shooting night images and you want good quality out of them. But this one is one I'm particularly happy with, especially due to the early mornings, late night, I was up all night for it, and it paid dividends. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this one. So from the big mountains to some coastal stuff, and I managed to capture a nice shot at Llanfairfechan of the sea groins that lead out nicely into the ocean. Took this image about 3 months ago, and it's actually the front cover of my calendar, front cover of my 2022 calendar, which shows that I'm pretty happy with it. So the sun was setting behind Anglesey at the time, but it was lighting the sea groins nicely, and it has given them a nice orange glow. And the composition worked nice, as you've got, well, in the far distance you've got Puffin Island and the Penmon Lighthouse. So I was well chuffed with this one. It's a long exposure. I think it was about 2 minutes, maybe just under, just to smooth out that sea and simplify it a lot, and it just makes it look like an ice rink. And yeah, a few people have had prints of this one, and it's quite a popular one with people who live in the area. So this one was definitely up there. Yeah, happy with it. After the coast, we go back up to the mountains and back onto the Glideri with the Milky Way again. This one is a shot I've been after a while. When you go up to the Gliders, Glidefach and Glidefawr, it has its own weather system, and a lot of the times you're clagged in with a low cloud and it's not even forecasted. So I've been up a few times trying to get the night images, and even though the forecast looks good, the weather's absolutely killed it for me. But this time there was no cloud, not a cloud in the sky, and it was completely clear. It was shot in September, and in September the Milky Way is nice and vertical, so you can get some really striking compositions with if you've got the right foreground. In this case, I had the Castle of the Winds, Castell y Gwyn, as a beautiful backdrop to the vertical Milky Way. It's a really dramatic rock structure. I've photographed it a lot in the winter and the summer, but again, it complements the stars nicely. As I don't know if anyone's been to this location, it looks like another planet anyway. The whole area is full of rocks, and it looks a bit like a moonscape. So it really does lend itself well to the night images. So I was really happy with this one. I took another image as well, back down the ridgeline, looking more south over to Andromeda, and I've got a nice, I call it the crown. You've got these jagged rocks sticking out either side, and the southern Milky Way was coming out nicely. Andromeda looked beautiful, and it's a lot more cooler than the warmer tones from the Milky Way core. So I put both. It's kind of the main image is the Castle of the Winds one, but I put both images up just so you can kind of see the contrast in how the Milky Way looks from different angles. So it's a stunning night. Again, I took the star tracker up, and it was quite a tough walk up, but worth it when you get conditions like that. So I hope you enjoy this picture and the one with Andromeda in. So from North Wales to South Wales, and this was my first time down south actually to do photography, and it's stunning. The Gower Peninsula, the Four Waterworks Trail, and to the image which I'm going to talk about now, we walked up Penavon, which is quite a popular walk. It's not too bad. You're about 400 metres above sea level anyway, and you're walking in another 800 plus, another 400 plus to make it 800. Sorry. So the walk's quite gradual. But we went up for the sunset, which was stunning. But the moonrise, the harvest moon, was rising. Full moon over one of the mountains called Cribbin. And I managed to capture this image, which I'm really happy with. As there's still some nice light coming from the setting sun. It had already set, but it was just casting a bit of a glow on the hill still, so there was no no deep shadows. It was all kind of mid-tones. But in the distance, the moon was rising. It was a nice orange crimson colour. And yeah, it just looked really nice. The cribbing ridgeline leads you out to the rising moon, and I was really happy with this one. One of my favourites, to be fair, because it was my first time on Pen y Fan, and to come away with an image as well, I regard it as a keeper. I was fairly fortunate. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. So the next image is definitely whether you don't want to be shooting in an open expanse of land with a tripod, as we got hit by a huge lightning storm on the coast of Anglesey. We were on Penrhos Beach, Trife Penrhos, which is next door to Innish Llandwyn, and Trife Llandwyn is at the other side. But we seen the storm coming. We thought it was going to be a really nice sunset, and it was. Real texture in all the clouds, but in the back of our minds, we were thinking there could be a storm on the way. And do we get out completely, get back to the car in the safety, or do we hold out and try and get some images? Obviously, we chose the latter. We wanted to try and photograph this storm. I've never really photographed a lightning strike. I've done it on top of Moel Van Mai, but it is in pitch black, so you're only really capturing the lightning bolts with a few city lights, and it didn't really look a striking image, excuse the pun. But this one I really like, as there's still quite a lot of light. We're just into blue hour, and there was a lot of texture in the cloud still. So in this image, I've managed to capture the lightning bolt on the far right of the frame, but on the far left you've got the Trevor Nose, and you've got the mountains of the Llyn Peninsula, and they're still in the light. So it's a tale of two stories. I see it as the storm was kind of coming for you, and those mountains were soon to be shrouded in all that stormy weather, as were we. We got back to the car absolutely drenched, head to toe. I broke a lens and a filter, I think, and a few of the other lads also had wet gear. But I knew I'd come away with one of my favourite images, not just of the year, that I've ever took. Just due to the story, really. We'd held it out. We'd gone through the bad weather, and a lot of the images you have to tough it out through the horrible conditions, and you'll sometimes come away with something you really like. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with this one. Next image was shot about 2 months ago. I'd done a solo hike up Moel Shabod for sunset. Again, there was a lot of rain, a lot of wind in the air, and in the back of your mind you're thinking that could create quite a nice light, and that's the reason I went up. A nice scramble along the ridge line. I didn't go up the Dire D path. I went up the regular path that everyone kind of goes up. But it's really enjoyable. I got to the top of Moel Shabod about 25 minutes, half an hour before sunset, so I'd left it quite late, which I don't recommend doing. When I got to the top, there was these sun rays, and they were shooting through the clouds and creating some spectacular scenes on the distant hills. I was looking back towards the Irwydfa and Aran, and in this case, Aran's pointy structure from Moel Shabod is so photogenic, and the rays were punching through, and you could see it in the background. One other thing about this image is also a strange looking cloud in the top of the frame, and it looks like an eye. So it looks like an eye, someone's just looking down on you, which caught my eye. Again, excuse the pun. But this image, yeah, I was really chuffed with this one, really happy. Again, if you put in the hard work, and you get some corkers sometimes, and this one was one of them. So the next image is way up north in the Highlands of Scotland. This one was shot in Torridon, and in Torridon you've got the big three mountains, which are Ben Alligin, Ben A and Leach or Leatach. All three are absolutely stunning, but then there's also a smaller mountain called Skerdoob, which in its own right is beautiful. Not as big as the main ones, but still so photogenic. And I took this image about a 10-metre walk away from the car where I parked. So it shows you do all these big hikes, but sometimes you get some amazing stuff right next to the road. And I managed to get up a small vantage point where I was looking down on some Scots pine trees, and that made the image, as I didn't want them cutting through or protruding the mountain. I wanted them fitting nicely into the scene. And you've got the river in the foreground as well, which was raging at the time as we had quite a lot of rain up there. But this image it's like a quintessential Scottish image in my book. You got a bit of snow on the mountain, and you've got the Scots pine trees, which look really nice in the midground. It's a panorama. I shot it at 70mm, and then vertically panoed it, just so I could make the mountain look big. As anything wider and you were losing the size of it, I wanted to create quite an ominous look of the mountain looking down over the helpless Scot pine. And I think it worked out. I'm really happy with it myself, and it's probably one of the more popular ones of the year. So yeah, hope you like it. So I think I'm on my final image of the top 10 pick. This one was well, it was my first vlog as well, which you seen last week, a couple of weeks ago. It was a cracking morning. We'd gone up Ichliwedd for sunrise, and we knew there'd be a cloud inversion. It was predicting one, and yeah, we got it. It's quite clear as we're walking up and thinking, where is this low cloud? Are we going to get it? But it came out of nowhere. And at the top, we'd reached the summit of Ichliwedd, and you've got a great view from Ichliwedd to Snowdon, Ganavagain and Crib Goch. And I did a panorama. This was shot about 40 minutes, maybe half an hour before sunrise. But the pre-dawn glow was creating some nice orange light on the hills. With that, the low-lying cloud was starting to form and creating some nice dreamlike conditions in the bottom of the frame. And just the view in general from that position was breathtaking. I've got a few other images. You've seen all the pictures from the last video, but this was a great way to end the year, and definitely an image, again, one of my all-time favourites, not just from 2021. So I hope you've liked all the pictures. I know it's a bit strange how my second vlog is looking back at pictures over the last year, as well, it's my second vlog. You've only really seen my first vlog, but before that I've been doing photography for about 3 or 4 years now. So I have got a bank of images in the bag, which I think are pretty decent. I hope you enjoy them. In the next coming weeks, I'm off to Scotland, the Highlands. We're looking to go to Isle of Skye, Torridon and the Isle of Harris and Lewis. Well, current situation pending. And I'll be able to create some more content. Looking to go to some pretty special locations, and this time video them, and hopefully get some nice images, and predicting a bit of snow up there next week, so I'm hoping I'll get some nice weather for photography. But yeah, I wish everyone a happy new year, and I hope you had a really nice Christmas. Until next time, I'll see you again. Thank you.